Hockey fans, it's time for Board Check, Impact Media's weekly drive through the neutral zone that is professional hockey. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. As always, go to our YouTube channel. If you are already on it, please go ahead and subscribe. Leave questions, comments, suggestions, any of that amazing stuff. We appreciate it. We see all the new subscribers. We appreciate you guys, and it helps keep our content free when you guys do those sorts of things. At BoardCheck99, if you are watching on any of the social medias, go straight to YouTube at BoardCheck99. Go ahead and subscribe. That way you know every time a new episode drops. So, pretty good conference finals, was it not? Both in the 6 games. Not the teams I picked. Congratulations, Edmonton. Congratulations, Florida. It's going to be a fun final. So, how did they get there? Let's start right there. How did they get there? A quick note to the Gladiators did release their schedule, the upcoming schedule for the next season. We're going to go over it next week. Might have a guest, might not. We were working on that. And if said person is watching that, expect a message soon. Maybe we'll have somebody talk about it a little bit. They have a fun schedule, especially there's a lot of times around holidays that they're playing at home up there in the arena. Be a good time to maybe go. But we're going to talk about that next week. Just want to talk Stanley Cup Finals tonight. And as I said, let's start in the West. How did Edmonton get to the finals? Well, up until now, they've taken care of business. They just ran slap over the LA Kings. Understandable. They're the better team. They eliminated their fellow Canadians, the Canucks, in 7 games. I thought they would win that, but at the same time, that was surprising. I thought that took a lot out of them. Thought they would potentially fall to Dallas, who seemed to be the superior team. And instead, they find a way to eliminate Dallas. And suddenly the link is not working. Trying to get it brought up. Still not. Of course, it brings up the East. We'll get to that in a minute. There it goes. All right. So game 1 goes to double overtime, which a lot of times the winner of an overtime, especially early in a series, usually it takes more out of the winner than it does the losing team, and you usually see the momentum swap. Well, that sort of happened. This thing goes to 2 overtimes, where Edmonton gets the goal late in the game. Obviously, they end up with the winner there. It was McDavid. Of course, it was Connor McDavid. The Oilers got 2 in the second. So the Stars got 1. Stars added 1 in the third. This thing's go to 2 overtime. Because it started Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman. That would be number 2 and number 3 on the Oilers behind McDavid. And then Tyler Seguin ended up with both goals for Dallas. Kind of tells you where Dallas is at. It is a lot of the same people. Now they will spread around a little bit, but that's just how it kind of goes. And then Connor McDavid gets the game winner. So the 1, 2, and 3 for Edmonton and the 1 for Dallas scores all the goals. Makes sense, right? And what did I say? When you win an overtime game early on, it usually takes enough out of you to where you lose the next one. Well, Stars, they were the losing team in game 1 and game 2. They were also at home. They win that one 3-1. As I said, I think Edmonton was a little beat up. I don't travel when you play every other day is a non-factor in my opinion. Both teams scored in the first, and then the Stars just put it away in the third period. Jamie Benn got it off to a 1-0 start for Dallas. Connor Brown, thanks for coming, man. That was great. And then Marchmont and Lindell with the goals late in that. I always say his name wrong. I know I do. But so we're looking 1-1. So we're like, all right, well, this is going to be a pretty good series. So then goes back to Edmonton. And the Stars pull ahead 2-1 in this one as they win it 5-3. 5-3. They are really carrying the momentum off game two. You're thinking, oh man, Edmonton might be in trouble. In fact, the weird thing is the Oilers start off with a 2-0 lead, then give up three while only scoring one in the second, and the Stars pull ahead with two in the third. Because you get Hyman and you get McDavid, and then you get Robertson, Weiss, and Wyatt Johnson, who has emerged as a pretty good player for Dallas. Adam Henrique evens it up, and then Robertson with the hat trick, and Miro Heiskanen with the fifth and final. They didn't need it, but so you're like, okay, well, Dallas up 2-1, and then Edmonton fires back at home again and wins that with 5-2. 2-2 after one, and then the Oilers just explode on the board to even this series up. Wyatt Johnson again and Lindell for the Stars. Ryan McLeod with his first at this point, and Evan Bouchard. And the second, it was Matthias Janmark, Leon Draisaitl, there's your number two getting involved again, and Matthias Ekholm. I tell you, they miss him. Ekholm, they miss. But so it's 2-2. So now it becomes a 3-game series. You hear that all the time, right? And we're in Dallas for game number 5. Well, Edmonton doesn't care where you're playing because they win this one 3-1. They score one in the first, two in the second. Stars try to come back in the end, only get one in the third. You got Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Wow. He found that white courtesy phone and let us know he is still very much in this series. The Nuge, I'd say he's probably number 4. Edmonton has got a lot of stacked up talent. Because the Nuge goes ahead and scores again in the second period. Philip Broberg ends up with the other one there, and Wyatt Johnson, the lone goal for the Oilers. And then we get to game number 6. I feel like Dallas is just out of firepower. The Oilers get 2 quick goals early in the first from Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. And then Mason Marchment ended up trying to get one there in the end, and it just wasn't quite enough. There's what we're looking for. Ottinger only had to make 8 saves for Dallas. 8 out of 10, only 10 shots that he faced. That's it's kind of crazy if you ask me. Because solid goaltending play from the Oilers, from Skinner and a little bit from Picard. They've been able to ride more of their firepower. The Oilers, I'll go ahead and get into my Oilers preview now. The Oilers like to play a very finesse, skillful game. More about speed, more about precision passing. That is just weird. Okay. And more about finding the right moment and taking it. And, they really want to outscore you. They're going to play some decent defense, pretty good defense at times. They've got 2 goaltenders they can rely on. At the end of the day, it's an arms race for them, and they're just going to keep firing until they're out of ammo. And it's going to take a while, the way this team is stacked up. But if you look, that's very much how they play, and it's very successful. And when we look on the other side, the Panthers are quite the opposite. But we'll get into that. How did the Panthers get past the buzzsaw that was the Rangers? I thought when the Rangers eliminated Carolina, I thought this was the Rangers' year. I was like, here they go. They're finally going to get their next cup. They're just too good. And apparently, Carolina took a piece of New York with them because it looked like they were just not firing on all cylinders a lot of times during that series. And it wasn't that they come up short, they wasn't playing hard. It wasn't that. It's just they just didn't have anything, really anything left, so to say. Uh, these were all very, very close, and it seems like the Rangers just they had difficult time scoring when they needed to, and that is a massive, massive problem to have in the playoffs. You can get by during the season, you can get some things bounce your way here and there, but in the playoffs, you got to win the close ones, and you just cannot. You got to be able to get timely scoring. Um, every game in this series, except for game one, was decided by one goal. One goal. That not crazy? One goal. Game one, 3-0. Philly. I mean, not Philly. Florida. Gosh, not Philly. 3-0 in game one. Ouch. That told me a little bit that the Rangers were still reeling a little bit from taking out the Hurricanes. It's understandable. Matthew Tkachuk, of course, in the first, and Carter Verhage and Sam Bennett clearing it up by the end. Solid performance. Solid performance by Bobrovsky, who, I mean, at this point, I still want to look at St. Louis and go, you thought this guy was washed up 2 years ago, and you just let him kind of walk, and he went into Florida, and they made a cup final. Did they not? Weren't they in the cup final last year? I believe they were. And so then if you thought he was washed up last year, then you would think he's washed up this year too, right? He might be not only playoff MVP, he might be league MVP. Just putting on a show every night. But so Florida leads 1-0. And then here comes the Rangers, and they win game two, which is up in New York. They win that one 2-1. Vincent Trocheck gets them on the board. Carter Verhage evens it up, and then Barclay Goodrow, shout out Barclay Goodrow, shows up, puts the winner in with the helper from Trocheck and Trouba. And suddenly we've got a series. It's 1-1 in this series. It's looking pretty good. Seems like the Rangers are bouncing back. They're doing it. They got Igor Shesterkin. I mean, they got Johnny Quick too. I think he re-signed. That should be a good thing. But so, okay. Well, you had a 7-game series. Each team wins a game. Now you're down to a 5-game series. All right. Best of 3. Game number 3. Rangers win this one in overtime. 5-4. Defense is nowhere to be found in this one. Sam Reinhart makes a 1-0 Florida. Alex Lafreniere ties it up. Barclay Goodrow goes 2-1 for the Blue Guys. Sam Reinhart decides, I'm not done. Here's another one. It is 2-2. We go into the second. Lafreniere and Goodrow again. Goodrow really emerging, by the way. Barkov and Forsling in the third to keep it even. And then Alexander Wennberg. Alexander Wennberg, first of the playoffs, is the overtime winner. So now the Rangers have the lead. Now you're looking like, okay, here's this Rangers team. They picked up their momentum. Here they go. Here they go, right? And then game 4 happens. 3-2 in overtime to the Panthers. To the Panthers. Vincent Trocheck early in the first makes it 1-0 Rangers. Sam Bennett and Carter Verhage, I know I'm butchering his name, make it 2-1 to the Red guys, and then the Rangers, Alex Lafreniere makes it 2-2. Sam Reinhart buries it in overtime. So they've each got 2 apiece. Now we're down to a 3-game series. In the 3-game series, this was the same as the last one. The more aggressive, physical team took over. In the last one, it was the more skillful team. Game number 3, this was in New York. This one hurt at MSG. That I'm not gonna say that can't happen, but that showed you where the Rangers were. Was they couldn't quite get the goals when they needed them. And I know you say that all the time, but Kreider gets on the board early in this one. Gustav Forsling, I believe he's a former Predator. Do I have that right? In the comments below, let me know if I'm right, wrong, and different. Tell me your favorite former Hurricane or former Predator that had a great performance in the playoffs so far. And also tell me who you think is going to win the cup. I'll get into my thing here in a minute. Anton Lundell and Sam Bennett throw a few in, and then Alexis Lafreniere to make it look close, but 3-2, which is also where the series was at this point, goes to game number 6. Game number 6 ends with the Florida Panthers in a 2-1 victory, and they are going to win the East. At this point, Sam Bennett and Vladimir Tarasenko, the former Blue, get the Red guys up 2-0 early, and Panarin tries his best to keep them in it and just quite can't do it. The Florida Panthers move on. So, as I said, we get Florida versus Edmonton. This thing's going to start tomorrow on Saturday, or by the time you watch this later today. They gave them like a 3 or 4 day break. What in the NBA are we doing? I like it. Let's start on Saturday because they're going to play Saturday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Friday, Monday. Those are big games. Those are big times. And if you kind of look at it, you're not really competing with the NBA on any of those, and you're not really competing with baseball. So Stanley Cup Finals should have plenty of time to shine. It's going to start in Florida for 2 games. It's going to go to Edmonton for 2, then Florida, Edmonton, Florida. Florida is the home team at this particular point. Game number 1, Saturday at 8 p.m. We might do these weekly because it looks like if we do one now, yeah, we're gonna do multiple during the finals, multiple shows, probably about every 2 games or so. You're gonna see us on here. I do think this could go 7, probably go 6. But let me tell you a little bit about teams because game 2 is Monday at 8 p.m. These are all on ABC and ESPN Plus. I think every one of them. Yep, ABC is going to be carrying this. It's going to be fantastic. And now we're going to do a show before game 3. But I told you how Edmonton plays finesse. They play skill. They just want to outscore you. Florida has the firepower. They scored a bunch of goals there, but you notice they don't give up a lot of goals either. They play some defense. They are physical. They're going to push you around. They're going to shove you around. They are going to catch you in and around and after the whistle, and they want to keep poking at you and keep poking at you and keep poking at you until you're so ready to smash them that you get the penalty. And then they go on the power play, and they are going to crush you, whether it's Sam Bennett, whether it's Matthew Tkachuk. It doesn't matter. They have stars for days, just like the Oilers. The Oilers are better at scoring. The Panthers are good overall at containing and controlling you, and that is what they're going to try to do. When you match up these goaltenders, let's do it that way. Offensively, give it to the Oilers. Defensively, I'm going to give it to Florida. So then when you go, special teams technically, if you want to use the football term, but then you go to goaltending. I think Bobrovsky is just the hotter glove at the moment, and it's nothing against uh, Edmonton's goalie, but Bobrovsky, man, could be the difference in this entire thing. In fact, there we go. I'm going to predict that. I'm going to predict that the Panthers are going to get a cup. God bless them. They're gonna get a cup in 6 games. And what game 6 is in Edmonton. That could be interesting. That could be interesting. Um, it may make it even better because that means they'll have a party up there and a party back down in South Florida. Um, but there you go. Like I said, we're gonna talk every couple games. We're gonna be back on here for a show because they're gonna space them out to where we can do that. And hey, if you're an Oilers fan, if you're a Florida fan, let me know. Once again, comment below. I still want to give stuff away. And if you guys will comment below, tell me who you think is going to win the cup, or if you're a fan of one of these teams, or your favorite player in the playoffs so far. I'll pick a random comment and we'll send you some. We'll get with you. We'll send you some. Send you something pretty cool. But other than that, like I said, I'm going to take Florida in 6 games. I have a good feeling about that. But other than that, I'm Jeremy the Impact York. This has been another great edition, Stanley Cup Finals edition of Board Check. Make sure to question, comment, suggestion, like, review. You want to leave directions to buried treasure. You want to leave brownie recipes. I probably don't need to eat any more brownies, but if you want to just interact with the show, Board Check 99. Find us on YouTube. Make sure to like us. Like I said, our numbers have really been growing. We really appreciate you guys. And until then, we will see you guys next week. Go Glads, go Canes, go Preds, go watch the Stanley Cup. Deuces, gooses.